Friday, June the 13th. We're in Bamberg.
After the war, to celebrate it on this Bamberg. Yeah, of course, the truth is that Bamberg was not that important in politics. And Bamberg didn't have this big factory or industry. And Nuremberg, of course, they have a bigger fish to catch. It's a very important city for the naval region. So, Bamberg has a lot of well-preserved medieval and style buildings, which entitled Bamberg to be on the UNESCO Heritage Site since 1993. And how did it all get started? So, Bamberg was first mentioned in 902. And at that time, Bamberg was just a fortification. It's called Baden-Berg. It's not even Bamberg. But don't worry, you're not in the wrong city. It's because later it transferred to Bamberg. And Bamberg was volumes in 1007. But this year, Emperor Harry II founded the Diocese of Bamberg. And Bamberg now, because of the construction site in front of us, we're going to cross the street to our left. Circumference. But why Emperor Harry II chose Bamberg to found Bamberg was a gift from Emperor Otto III to the Duke of Bavaria. And Duke of Bavaria is the father of Emperor Harry II. So, Harry II spent most of his childhood in Bamberg. That's why he favored this city. And because of following the diocese of Bamberg, he turned Bamberg into an administrative and spiritual center for the Holy Roman. And at that time, the bishop also the sacramental in Bamberg, and that's what we call prayer division. Wait a bit in the shadow. Okay, now let's cross. Okay, we made it. So we talk a lot about the past from Bamberg. Now let's talk about Bamberg today, so you get a better idea about this city. So Bamberg has 18,000 inhabitants. And well, it's really a small city. Some might say, would you really call it a city? It looks more like a town. From where I'm from, China, in one word, it would be like a village. But historically, that place had a cathedral and a prince bishop, then you could call it city. Well, I guess I'm not the one who making the rules. So among those 80,000 inhabitants, here in Bamberg, 12,000 are students. So I'm one of them. And I would say that education is quite an important sector in Bamberg. Yeah, 8 high schools instead of Bamberg, such a small city and a dwarf rural. And Bamberg is also quite famous for the 4 beginnings. What was this 4 beginnings? So, the first for a drink, probably already an idea where with the giants. So, Bamberg is really a beer city. In 1800s, there were breweries just in one street in the inner city. And we're going to talk about beer a lot. Basketball. Yeah, not soccer, not football, but basketball. Oh, that's definitely the influence. And Bamberg has one of the most successful basketball teams here, and we also have the biggest basketball stadium in the whole Bavaria. It's called Franconia Hell. Well, Franconia for the region, and Hell, well, for the opponent. Because this basketball team has won 9 times in the German championship and 4 times in Europe. Wow. And there's B is beautiful. Well, inside that, there's a lot of doctors, rock buildings, and as a matter of fact, you can see it right now. And I'm going to show you. It's very distinguished architecture style, or style, and also the unique style of building. And so, you are actually the library of the first stop, just next to this 2 trees on your right. I can show you. It's not a but it's your choice. Okay, so we talk about the rock style. So on your right side, in front of you, you can see that's a Baroque style. Actually, it only has a Baroque facade. So at that time, there was a Prince Bishop from Schönborn family. He is a big fan of Baroque style. He actually hates medieval style. He wanted to transfer the whole city into modern Baroque style, and he had an idea. He's going to offer a tax privilege to the citizens to renovate their houses to Baroque style from 6 years to 25 years. And people really did it. But people of Bamberg, please, so I could pass the gift. And people of Bamberg, they're also quite clever. Well, Baroque style, but I'm not going to use those expensive stones. So they put a facade, like a structure of medieval structure. So there's no real stone there, so it's cheaper. And if you go inside, you can still see the chamber structure. And you can also see here, on your left side, that's the half timber building. It's a bakery, and that's medieval style. Yeah. So inside it's like this. And they have a thing here. You can go broke without going broke. Okay, now let's continue. Okay, I think we could cross. Couple with the bicycle. So, anyone wanted to toilet break here, the bathroom break? Yeah. You don't have to point and I find it better. Okay, so we are about to turn off first. So you can have a bit closer to me. Don't think it by just here.
I'm recording everything on this, so I gotta stay close to it.
So later, that's our first turn. You can follow this street. Just also for one way street. So don't turn left to the right. And you remember how we get here. That's how you get back to the house. Okay, so let's go straight. Follow this street. Okay? And from here, take me roughly 10 to 15 minutes. So you remember all 30 minutes of right go down, you go up, and then turn down. Okay, first one.
I got that. You know, that looks like the one in Nijmegen.
Remember the face.
That's right.
I took a picture of the face.
I did too. Then just straight down the street and it'll take us to the,
Yeah, the bus.
Take us to the back.
That building that we're.
So I'm going, okay, the face. There was his face. Yeah, but I am.
Yeah, I've got that. She looks straight though. Like,
You can come a bit closer to me. So, the building in the middle of the river, that's the old city hall. You're probably wondering why there will be a building in the middle of the river, right? That's not an unusual place to build a building. Well, at that time, the Middle Ages, so the people want to be independent of Prince Bishop. But of course, the Prince Bishop wouldn't want people to get too powerful and independent. So let's just say when the people asked the permission from the Prince Bishop to build their city hall, they said, please, Prince Bishop, just let us build a city hall here. And Prince Bishop said, okay, you could build it, but not on my ground. He thought that he cheated the people because he owned that Allentown, Garden Town, and Hillstown in Bamberg. And how could that be possible? And people of Bamberg said, yeah, no problem, Prince Bishop. We're going to just build it in the middle of the river because he only owned land, not the river. Yeah, that's cleverness from the people of Bamberg. And if you look closely, you will also see there's something odd from the painting, something sticking out from the painting. A leg, yes, a leg from the angel. And the right hand from the angel pointing out a red shell, like a strawberry. And that's the name of the artist. And in Bamberg, we have a joke about it. Are you ready? So the artist left his legacy here.
Oh,
Okay,
what are the things hanging down there?
okay, the question is, what are those sticks hanging in the middle of the river? That's the pole for kayak. That's the obstacle for their training or competition. Any other questions? Okay, then let's go to the other side, the right side. Please be careful with the bicycle. So, from your right side of the river, you could see there's a sandstone building, and there's an animal in the sandstone building. Do you have an idea what that animal is? Horse? It looks like it. Ox? Yeah, that's a ox. That's the old slaughterhouse from Bamberg. And you could see a lot of houses next to the river. That region is called the Little Venice. But as you could see, there's no like Renaissance palace like in Venice, because this district is a fisherman district. It has long been one of the poorest area in Bamberg. And at that time, the fishermen need to do 2 jobs sometimes to support the family. And you probably think it's so nice to live there now, because with all those beautiful view by the river, but you have to understand, not until 19th century, in city of Bamberg, there was no modern sewage system. That means everyone dumped their garbage and trash into the river. So the smell wasn't that nice. And also you could see there's some trapdoor, this round arch trapdoor from the old slaughterhouse. So the old slaughterhouse would also dump their meat or blood into the river directly. It's very good for the fish. So it's a whole ecosystem, but of course, the environment wouldn't be nice. And today, the house here was a lot. So there's a small one next to the old slaughterhouse. And you could have a guess how much it was, a very small apartment. No? I'm just going to give it to you. It's $2.7 million.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, very small one.
Yeah.
Okay, are there any questions?
Schön, wenn jetzt man nicht klappt.
Okay, now let's continue.
This is small.
I don't get it. Well, I guess their county is something. Location.
$7 million is so small that you could probably not see it.
Is this ornate? Is that part of the?
Blue building
Yeah, all this ornate around it.
Mhm.
Is that separate?
is this blue building in front of us. That's the Rococo style.
Which style?
Rococo style.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Cool.
So I just talked about that river where all the trash and garbage from cities of Bamberg, right? So when people drink water, they often get sick because all those bacteria and germs in the water, that's an inevitable result. So everyone in Bamberg started to drink a new drink. And you probably already get an idea what that drink will be, right? Beer, exactly. And when I say everyone in Bamberg, I really meant it. Even little kids and babies.
Ooh.
So you have the most quietest baby at all times. What best
Irish pub.
So, speaking of beer, has anyone already tried smoky beer?
No, no.
I would say it's quite unique. And sometimes it's like a liquid bacon. Or liquid salami. Yeah, it's very special.
Oh yeah.
And people say that you need to have 3 glasses until you like it. I guess the trick is to make your tongue numb. Everything tastes good when you're drunk, right?
Yeah.
So the smoky beer is made with malt, dried over an open flame. That's what it got this smoky flavor. And legend said at that time there was a big fire in the brewery. And people just thought, oh, such a waste to throw all those barley. So they make beer out of it. And they discover smoky beer. Now we're gonna stop here. Please stand by the side. It's a very busy street. There will be a lot of bikes and cars drive through. But the truth is that in the 1800s, all the breweries in Germany used an open flame to dry their barley because there was no electricity or machine. There was no other way. So all the beer at that time tasted like smoky beer. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like your attention to the building in front of us on your right side. And that's a green black half timber building. That's the Schlankler Brewery. And if you look above, there's a shop sign there. There's a blue lion. Did you see it? By the shop sign. And underneath it, there's a circle. And there's a man stand with his curved leg. Yeah, why is that? Why he stand with his curved leg? So, actually, Schlankler in English means a little man walking with swing arms and walking wobbly. Yeah, that's the meaning of Schlankler. And legend said that the owner of this brewery is Andrew Gracer, and he walked like that with his swing hand and walking wobbly. And the customers and the friends around him started to call him Schlankler, Schlankler, Schlankler. This nickname, well, it wasn't nice, but he didn't take it seriously. And he really made lemonade out of lemon. So he changed the name, the brewery's name, to Schlankler, and it got famous. Yeah, so many people to come here to drink the beer, and everyone ended up walking wobbly because they were so drunk. So it turned out to be a very successful marketing strategy. So besides Schlenkler and the blue line, there's another sign, looks like Star of David, right? But it's not Star of David. It's the symbol of brewery. So there are two theories. What does it mean? So you can see there's a triangle pointing on the sky. They represent very crucial elements of making beer. Fire, spirit, fermentation, and the triangle pointing on the earth represent water, malts, hops, and yeast. And nowadays, making beer always with four elements: yeast, hops, malts, and water. But at that time, it wasn't not always these four elements. There was no yeast because there was no microscope to discover yeast. So they didn't know. It wasn't always a success to make beer, but people find out that it has a higher successful rate to make beer when brewery open next to a bakery. So you're gonna see soon there's a bakery next to the Schlankler breweries. Okay, yeah, that's the reason. And we also call beer liquid bread because beer has a lot of calories, and at that time the laborers needed as a staple food to get through their days. Okay, are there any questions? Okay, perfect. Now let's continue. Three. So here is our second turn. We turn left here, so later on when you are up in the hills, you go down and you turn right. So you remember that? You come here and then turn right. And then you will see the bridge and turn left to walk through the street. This one-way street. Okay, so you get it? That's our second turn. That's our last turn. Okay, now we're gonna get on the hills.
Does it matter where you buy the smoked beer? Is it all the same here?
Yes, the question is, where can people buy the smoky beer? Actually, you can buy the smoky beer in any restaurant here, also in the breweries, even in the supermarket. We'll continue to climb. I know it's a bit difficult to climb, but I'm assure you, you will be rewarded by the view. It's the highlight of our tour. And I won't talk much now to spare you from my heavy puffing breath. No, that's not fine. Yeah.
I'll do what we're advised. We'll look at this fire and then figure out where we are.
So I will wait you by this metal statue. You could find me here. Take your time.
They're always under renovation, eh? Seems. Yeah.
The cathedral is always under renovation, always maintenance. It's a very old building. Okay, I'm gonna stand in front of you. You can all stand against the wall so you get nice shadow. And also don't want to ruin your picture. Just a heads up. Okay, everyone. Now
The weird question
stand
is how to do it.
the cathedral square, one of the most superb in the whole Germany. And you can also notice there are different architecture styles in these three different buildings. It actually shows the chronological development of European art and architecture. And I got a question for you, but I'm going to describe, make it not that hard. So in front of you, you can see this pointing cathedral. Yeah, this pointing building in front of you. And far behind this cathedral, there's a square building in the middle. That's the old court. And next to you, on your right hand, you have the new residence. So my question would be, which one is the oldest one? The one in front of you or in the middle? Yeah, the square one?
The region.
Yeah, the square one. Yeah. I get it a lot, but actually it's the cathedral. Yeah, the cathedral is the oldest one. Yeah. And now we do a quiz. So another question. I guarantee it's the last one. So this one, you can see here the statue, the building is actually same building. That one we could see it in front of us. But why they built a statue here if we could already see it? Does anyone know the idea why they built it here if we could already see it? No? Okay. It's actually for the blind people. So they could get a feeling how it looks like, yeah, by touching it. Yes.
Nice.
Okay. Now let's go to the cathedral, the oldest one. And we will process it here. And a little hint. You can see there's a metal circle plate on the ground. Inside, we are in the working zone. And in between, that's the driving zone. Yeah, that's a little tips for you. And of course,
Well, we got to our own buses. That's low base.
okay, let's stand here. It's nice without the sunshine. Now everyone could form a semicircle shape in front of me. And it's easy for me to show you the picture, some important information you'd like to know. Or when I said that was the last question, actually not. I have another question. So here is my next question. If I told you this cathedral in front of you was built within 10 years. Would you believe?
No.
No. Yeah, you don't have to be an architect to know that it's not possible. We're a very intelligent group today. So, but I would say it's partly true. So, because you could see in the first building, yeah, so this building, it was actually built in 1002. And they really only cost 10 years to build it. It was commissioned by the Emperor Henry II. They make it to 2 towers, and they use wood for the rooftop and the roof. And unfortunately, it was all burned down. So people of Bamberg, they made the second one, same location and same material for the rooftop and the wall, and it burned down again. Well, partly, not all of it. So maybe 3 times is a charm, or maybe they already learned that lesson. So the third time they use stones, and this time they cost 50 years to build it, and they make it to 4 towers, double the size. And the original design of this procedure wanted to be as closely as possible on Henry's procedure, but at later point they decided as a modern Gothic style. That's why you could actually see the cathedral here with a transition from Romanesque style to Gothic style. And we could tell it from the window. I'm gonna show you. So you could see the right side of the cathedral with a black big clock there on the right side of the cathedral. Did you see it? There's a clock there, the black one. And above it, the window, you have a round arch that's Romanesque style. And above it, the window, you have pointed arch. And that's the Gothic style. That's how you could tell it. And today we won't go inside of the room, but you are very welcome to go inside individually, and it's for free. But before that, I would like to show you some information so you know where to look at, where to focus on when you are inside, okay? So we're gonna start with the 13th century horseman statue. So this statue has gone first to mark its uniqueness. It's the first horseman statue in the north of Alps after the classical antiquity, and it's also the first one inside the cathedral. And it's also the first one with the nail horseshoes. And you can also see the symbol of horseman in many Bamberg government buildings or their papers. It must be a quite important figure. But who is he? So we know that Emperor Henry II, he commissioned to build a cathedral. Could he be the one? Well, you can also see this king's crown on his head. And the most humiliating thing you could do an emperor is to put a king's crown on his statue. So he's not the one. And there's a heavenly Jerusalem above his head. And this often associated with saint. So it narrowed down to a few kings who were canonized later. So he could be King Steve of Hungary, who was later canonized. And Hungary is also very famous for their horses. Yeah, so what's the connection with Bamberg? Well, so King Steve of Hungary married Gisela. Gisela is a sister of Henry. Now you have it. That's a very good guess, but it's only a guess because we still don't know who he is. And we have the second one. It's the tomb of Pope Clement II. And you're probably wondering why there will be a tomb of Pope here. Shouldn't it be in Rome? Yeah, actually, he was a bishop in Bamberg, and his last wishes is to be buried in Bamberg. But only after 10 months, it was elected to Pope. was in Rome only 10 months, and then he came back with his dead body. That was really a short time. So there was a lot of conspiracy behind it. Wasn't he poisoned by Italian because they didn't like German to rule over them spiritually? Well, with the modern technology, they detected really lead in his bone. So maybe he was really poisoned. But it could also be that he was an alcoholic because at that time the wine was so sour and people would use lead sugar to sweeten their wine. So, and last but not least, we have a tomb from the Empress Kunigunde and the Emperor Harry II. And from this picture, so from your perspective, the Empress is on the left side, but from their perspective, that the Empress Kunigunde is on the right side. So the right side is always the king's side. It's a more powerful side. And why is that? So Empress Kunigunde, she was a very well-educated woman. She could speak and write Latin. It wasn't easy at that time because normally you will have an officer to write it for you. You don't need to write that. So she is very intelligent, and Emperor Harry II would share a lot of administrative and political advice from her. It was documented in many documents. And Emperor Harry II would often travel in his vast emperor, and Kunigunde would stay here in the city of Bamberg to rule people here. She was a wise and fairly ruler. She's the mother of the city and the protector of the city. Everything was perfect except one thing. She was a woman. Someone is not having it, and there's a person accused her adultery when Harry need to return to the country. And at that time, there was no court, no judge. So Kunigunde need to go through a trial of fire. And in this case, if she goes through this red glowing plowshare with a metal blade, and her feet will be healed within 2 weeks, then she will be innocent. If not, and luckily, she proved the innocent. That's one of her miracles. And I guess this too will be sorry darling gift from Harry II. Yeah, for wrongfully accusation. Okay, and Emperor Harry II and Kunigunde were both canonized later. They lived celibacy without children, and it was advocated at that time. And they both have their own miracle that's entitled them to be canonized. Okay, so does anyone have a question? What are the scars? So what's the scar? Is yellow and white scar the flag?
No, the
Scar. It's the
destruction.
destruction. Yeah, destruction.
But in the zone up there, down here.
I have to admit, I have no idea, but I will but I will research on it, and next time when you come to Bamberg, I'm gonna explain. Okay, any other question? Okay, then let's continue.
Well, if it's some random, it's not meteor.
Yeah.
So it had to be something from the sky.
We have better view. So you go for a semicircle again in front of me. So please for semicircle in front of me. Everyone. Okay, so this magnificent door with so many great statues in front of you, that will be the Prince Immortal, one of the most attractive church with the late Gothic style in the journey. And in the middle is a semicircle above the. Yeah, do you see the semicircle? You have the Jesus there. Yeah, so here it depicts the last judgment. And on the left side, you have the blessed. And on the right side, you have the demons dragged the damned with a chain. Did you see it? Hmm? And on the right side, people are laughing. Huh. What's so funny to the hell? It's a good thing, it's a happy thing. Well, why they're laughing is because laughter was considered to be sanity, unbecoming at that time. When you are laughing, you need to smell with your closed lips, like the left side. And we also have some high-ranking figures on the right side. Did you see it? There's a king and bishops and financier with a bag of money. So the message behind it is that no matter who you are, no matter how much power you have, you are not going to escape from the last judgment. I guess they want to make the Prince Bishop shivering whenever he crosses the floor. Okay, so now we come to the front column. On your left, you have a female figure with a king's crown. That's the ecclesia. So that's the personification of Christian church. And on the right side, you have the Judaism personification. That's synagogue. And there's something odd about her because the staff of the judgment is broken. Do you see it? And she is blindfolded. That means the Jews was blind from the truth of Christ. And underneath her is a demon gouging out the eyes from Jews. How do we know that's a Jew? Well, it was in 1215, the Pope Innocent III made all the Jews to wear a conical hat. If you look closely later, then you can find out there's a hat. So you could have an idea that with such an anti-Semitism message, such an open place, that war the discrimination and persecution put upon to the Jews at that time in the Middle Ages. So in the 11th century, first Jewish community and in a synagogue located on the hill of Cathedral. And at that time, envy, equal scapegoat, and religious intolerance were the three main reasons to put discrimination and persecution on Jews. So they blame everything on Jews, like bad harvest or plague. And Jews couldn't do all the occupations because for farmers or craftsmen, they need to swear and question oaths, and they couldn't do it. So the thing they could do is like banking or lending money, those procedures to be safe Christian. And over time, only some of them accumulate wealth. The majority of Jews still live in poverty, but this incurred. Just imagine if you were a very powerful person at that time, the Middle Ages, and you borrow so much money from the Jews, and you don't want to pay back. What are you gonna do? Probably want to get rid of them, right? That's what exactly they did in the 15th century. They evicted all the Jewish community out of the city of Bamberg. But not long after, the new Prince Bishop found out that the city couldn't run without Jews. So he invited the Jewish community to come back again to run their finance. And after that, actually, Jew and Christian lived peacefully for a long time. And in the 19th century, they even have emancipation. In 1910, they even built a synagogue here in Bamberg, and I would like to show you this old synagogue. And you can see this synagogue has a big window, represent transparent and welcoming. It was a good time, but only after 28 years. It was 1938, the night of broken glass. So the synagogue was burned. And under half Jews from Bamberg successfully escaped to America or London. And another half, 500 Jews from Bamberg, was deported to the concentration camp. And they were murdered by Nazis. So in the Schützenfeld Island, history for everyone, we believe that it's important to talk about history, not just the pretty one, but also the ugly one. So we hope that people remember it, reflect it, and bring more understanding to their own world. So we come to 21st century, maybe we did learn something because in the same location, we built a new city here in Bamberg, and this time you also see that the windows are so big in honor to the old synagogue, transparent and welcoming. And we also have our very first German-born female rabbi who also ordained in Germany. And now she teaches in the University of Bamberg, Hebrew and Israel. So there's some bright side. Okay. Now, let's go to our last toilet break, the bathroom break. Now, please, everyone, follow me to the old court. So for the bathroom, same principle, it will cost 50 cents. You could change to the small bill with the lady in the front of the bathroom. Anything under 5 euros. Inside this small door, just turn right. So the bathroom for the ladies will be on the left, and the bathroom for the gentlemen will be on the right. Well, I'm not exactly happy about this arrangement because women should always be right. And I will wait you in the yard later. Our tour will also continue in the yard inside the old fort. Well, if we have everyone here, then you have to know it's the last chance to get rid of someone, okay? And if you all come a bit closer to me, we also have the shadows here.
Jay Gatsby.
Yeah, you probably already hear it. So the setting up here is for the theater festival in every city. So now let's continue.
pretty dramatic. History museum.
Yeah, so let's gather here in front of me. So have some distance from the excitement. A bit closer to me, so we won't block the passage here. So here we are actually in the old court. That's the official residence for the bishop until the late 16th century. And the buildings here were built in the 1400s. And you can see it behind you, on your left side, that would be a stable house for the bishop at that time. At that time, they drove a 6-horse carriage, nothing under. And now the most building here will be taken by the Bamberg History Museum. You can see it on the right side. And you can see that Bamberg has such a rich history and so many beautiful buildings from Middle East. And it appears a lot of film companies to shot film here. And I have one for you. Do you know which film would that be?
That guy with the big
Yes, yes, someone already knows.
nose. What is it?
Already guessed.
The
Three
shirt.
Musketeers
Oh.
from 2011. They shot it here in this yard. You could see the rooftop here from the picture. It's actually the rooftop behind you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in the yard. And one colleague from it, he said he's not gonna make it to the Hollywood because it was a hot summer and he constantly died in this pepper stone for 8 days. That was just too much. And I don't know how you like the film, but no one recommended it to me yet. And there's another TV series, also quite famous, maybe you also know, it's called The Empress. It's the Empress of Austria. You also know as Sissy on Netflix. Yeah, you check on that because my roommate, she was also in the show. Even though she was just in the first episode, 30 minutes, we were forced to watch the whole thing. So like Three Musketeers, The Empress is also shot in Bamberg, like the Prince Portal we had already visited. And also, the Empress shot in the new residence we are about to visit. So, please follow me to the new residence. So, I will wait a bit by the entrance. On the left side, you can find me here by the entrance. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, the building in front of you, that will be the new residence, the Baroque style. So, the original design will be U-shaped 3 wings because for Baroque style, it always pursued symmetrical styled architecture, but you can only see 2 wings here, L-shaped, right? It's not U-shaped. Well, again, this building was commissioned by the Prince Bishop from the Chambon family. If you could remember when I explained to you the architecture style, the Baroque style and the medieval, this is the one who was the big fan of Baroque style. And he offered a tax privilege, so he couldn't get enough money to build his own residence. That's why it's an L shape. And he was always in the hope that his successor would finish his work. So he left some stones. Here, you could see that stone sticking out, yeah, on your left side. Yeah, and we call it waiting stone. They have been waiting here for centuries. But yeah, I would say it's lucky he didn't have enough money, so we still have the old court behind it. Now we're gonna go to the new residence, and we will cross the street after the cars passing by. So you probably notice that the ground is made with wood. It wasn't wood at first place, it was replaced later. Do you have an idea why they replaced it? Yes, the sound cancelling effect. Prince Vision needed his beauty sleep, and the 6-horse carriage totally ruined that. And let's go a bit. You can see this building in front of you, and you may notice something odd by the windows. Yeah, do you notice that? Yeah, they're painted, they're not real windows. Yes, it's not because it saved money, but also because the Baroque style used extensively perspective of illusion. They like to develop these 3D effects. But of course, it solved the problem, the money problem from the Prince Bishop. And everything is symmetrical. That's also a characteristic of Baroque style. Now let's go to the Rose Garden. That's our last stop. Let's turn right, enter the door. It'll be wet on the ground. I think they just watered the plant. So the garden was built in 17th century, and at that time there wasn't any roses here. It was all hedges and shrubs, because with Baroque style they want everything to be organized, and roses would be too wild for that. So it was until 1820 they transformed the formal garden to rose garden with 49 varieties and 500 roses. So I would say we are today luckier than the Prince Bishop. We got a chance to see roses here today. And please follow me, and you can get a view of Bamberg, like Prince Bishop at that time.
Yeah, what a view.
Yes, you could come a bit closer to me. So you can already see the jumble of Bamberg's mid-age style building, right? And you could also spot that in the middle of the rooftop from the building will be a little bit sagging. Of course, because of gravity after 500 to 600 years. And there are still people living there. Yeah, to get a sense of transition of time. And if you look at on your right side, there's a black rooftop sandstone building. That's a church. That's St. Martin's Church. And it's built in the middle 17th century. It's the only one completely with Baroque style in Bamberg. It was a Jesus church. And in front of this church, you will find a grain market. So the grain market is for the locals to sell their goods like vegetables or fruits or flowers, honey. So you could pay a visit your free time later after the tour. And also, if you see it on your left side, that's St. Michael's Monastery. That is the oldest monastery in Bamberg. And now it has been for a retirement home for 200 years. And it's also constantly on renovation, maintenance. It's also a very, very old building. And next to it, you can see the trees getting white right now, but you can still see a bit as a vineyard next to the monastery. We all know that Bamberg is a beer city, but actually 400 years ago, there was also a lot of vineyard in Bamberg, and people produce wine here. But because of 30 years war, there was not enough laborers to work in the vineyard and climate change. So they shift their focus to beer over time. Okay, and having that being said, I have to say now we come to our end to our tour. Here is the last stop. And before that, I would like to say one more time how grateful I am to have a guest like you. You have been really wonderful guests. Thank you so much. And about how to get back at the moment, we are in the Rose Garden. So this area is called Cathedral Square. Remember Cathedral Square? So later on, you go out of the Rose Garden, go out of the new residence, and go down, and you will see there's a stairs or the ramp when we get up. So you go down and you remember you have the first turn, right? To turn, yes, to turn right, and you will see the Schlankler breweries. Exactly. And on the opposite of the Schlankler breweries, you have a souvenir shop. You could buy postcard, magnets, everything. Okay. And if you want to get smoky beer, enjoy it in the Schlankler breweries. And you go further, and then you will see a half-face statue. That's the time you need to turn left. Exactly. That's the two turns we have. And turn left, you just follow this one-way street to the council hall. Just go straight. Don't turn left. Don't turn right. Just follow the street. Okay, I hope that will be clear for everyone. But if not, I will be happy to draw a line, a route for you on your map, okay? And I will be here for a couple minutes, so if anyone has a question, feel free to ask me. Happy to help. Okay, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh yes, down at the bus will be 12:45. You need to be there at 12:45, and the bus will drive at 12:45. Okay. But if you want to be early, the bus would already get into the concert hall at 12:35. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Can you just circle the end state?
Oh, you haven't done that yet? Oh, no, I guess that's an unpleasant.
Oh, yeah. 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 Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're wonderful.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I have one question.
Yes.
What was the fourth B?
What's B?
You said it
Oh,
was.
yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
The fourth
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to say actually the fourth B is B for Bosch. The Bosch company.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I think it has
I
a
was gonna-
factory here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was bratwurst or.
Yeah, no. Another interesting one. Maybe, yeah, in my subconscious, I don't know if I want to say that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I enjoyed your tour.
Yeah, thank you. Glad to hear.
€1 by any chance?